Oh, what is going on out there, peeps? All right, look at a lot of you people asked me to reach out to these guys. This is Andy and this is George. And they say, hey, why don't you go on Andy and George's show? I was like, who the hell's Andy and George? And they send me a link. I go, oh, good Lord, I know these fellas. I already knew them. I didn't realize they started their own YouTube channel. We actually go back quite a ways. So for those of you who are in my group who don't know who Andy and George are, Andy and George, they handle, well, hell, I'll let them talk. You guys introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do.
Hey, Andy. Hey, everybody. I'm Andy. For those in our groups, already know us, and most of the people in our group know you, Pimpy. But yeah, for those that don't know us, George started a group and contractually got it filled. I was helping him with his business, investing in Iraq. Then people kept requesting to get into the group. So we started a separate group that I run. And why
don't we tell them what kind of group this is? What is it that you guys do? What is this?
Well, it's the mine is Willard Enterprises. George's is the World International Stock Exchange. And what you do is you invest in my business. I invest in the Iraqi Stock Exchange.
Yep.
So by doing so, you invest in my company. The minimum investment, $330. 300 of that I send over to Iraq and invest it. Currently, we have just under $500,000 in a stock trading account in Iraq. We have 334 million, something like that, shares of stock.
Shares, yes, yeah.
So if this exchange that everybody is excited about happens at even 1-to-1, then we've got nearly $400 million that will be divided among everybody that owns blocks equally. So
let me see if I can, for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, so the ISX, which is the Iraqi Stock Exchange. So what Andy and George, each one of them has their own company. And what you can do is you can buy into their company, and they sell what's called blocks. So you spend X amount of dollars per blocks. And what happens is you get a piece of the pie, so to speak. So how this works is they take all the money that you guys send in and they invest it into the, the Iraqi Stock Exchange. They buy several different stocks. So there is no one person, owns X amount. What happens is each block. So let me put it to you this way. So all the shares are divided by the number of blocks that you own. And the reason for that is this way everything is divided up equally. Now, some people own more blocks than others. So depending on how many blocks you buy, that's how much you get back from the dividends. And why this is important versus owning the Iraqi dinar, let me see if I can word it this way. If you own a dinar and a rate change happens and you're happy with it and you exchange it, you get that one-time payment, you're happy. Yep. With Andy and George's group, if you buy into the blocks, they are invested in the stock exchange in Iraq. So it isn't like a one-time payment and you're done. Nope. This is ongoing. This keeps going as long as you want to stay in there. You'll get paid out dividends and the whole 9 yards is how this works. So this isn't a one-time shot. Buying into their company allows you to own stocks in the Iraqi Stock Exchange. So that's the benefit between the two of them. And with everything that's going on in Iraq, you can understand why that's pretty beneficial, because right now you're actually, if you think about it, Iraq is rebuilding itself from literally from the square one. It's been torn apart from decades of just between wars and ISIS and armed militants. That whole country is torn apart. So they're trying to rebuild their infrastructure. So being able to get in at the ground level, which literally, if you think about it, that's what this is. So they take your money, they invest it in different shares, all right? Now, some people will invest more money than others. That's why it's important to do it into blocks. So they have a limited amount of blocks, X amount of blocks. So based on what the dividends are, they divide it by the number of blocks that are sold, and then each block is worth X amount of dollars. So you take how many blocks you own and you multiply times how much each block is getting, and that's how much you get back. So it's a pretty good investment. I mean, I'm in both groups, just to be honest with you. I've been with you just see George here now since, whew, good Lord, back in the beginning of 2019, and Andy, I don't know, 6-7 months ago or so. Because when George did his, you know, he capped out the number of blocks, and it sold out. It sold out really quick. And people are like, Pimpy, I went in. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. They're sold out. And then Andy said, yeah, we'll go and jump in on this. And that's what he did. He offered blocks out to people, and they've been selling out like hotcakes as well. So now is a good time for you guys to want to jump on in this, especially with all the rate change talk right now, if you think about this. So if we're buying stock, if you think about this, at the current rate, which is like pennies on the dollar, and then all of a sudden the exchange rate changes, well, hell, you can only imagine what that does to the stock itself, if you think about it. Let me know what you guys think. Am I wrong anywhere there?
The only thing, George's is full because he contracted to end after a certain number of users and a certain number of blocks. So when I opened it, I decided we'll stay open, we'll sell blocks until there is a rate change. At the mention of a rate change, once we know that it's happened, then no more blocks are sold. We're not taking any more investment. And we may divide it. Right now, we're just under 5,000 blocks. We could end up with, like George has, with 7,500. We could end up with 20,000. We don't know. But whatever that number is, every time the stocks get in, I send a wire just under 10,000 every time I run out. In other words, I send my money over, and then I sell the blocks so that when people join and they send their 330 or 1,100, whatever they choose to send, deduct that from my balance over there. And as soon as I hit zero, I send another 10,000. That way, should something happen, and it happen immediately or in the near future, at least the people that have sent me money, their blocks are going to still count. I'm not going to send money back. So there may be a person or two that gets a little bit back because everything happened and there was just,
they missed out or whatever.
Yeah, but it's going to be minimal because I keep sending money over there and just deducting from that. They're not waiting initially when in George's group and in my group, you know, if it happened and your money wasn't over there, too bad, you got your money back. Now, most of the money, even though if it comes to me today, it's considered invested.
Okay, good. So the good thing about now is there's so much talk right now in the news about the rate change, man.
They're just they're putting it right in. Used to, it was you had to have your dinar colored glasses on and you read into everything. Now they're coming right out and telling you that they're working with the IMF for an acceptable exchange rate.
And that it's part of the budget. The first hint before this came out was they said something, and I caught it and I shared it with everybody in one of these articles, and I said, hey, look, right here, it tells you that it said the next stage they had been thinking about floating the dinar, is what it said. And I said, and they said something about no to the float, and they have to reevaluate it for the budget. And I was like, whoa, wait. Do you understand what they're saying? They're talking about now. This isn't later down the line. So I read that paragraph like 4 times in a row. So people let it sink in. Listen to what they're saying. They're floating the rate for the next stage, but they stopped it because they had to reevaluate it. And I was like, for the next, that's now. That's happening now. Now they just go, well, you know, before the 21 budget, we need to do the rate change. I was like, how? Now they're just telling you to your face a rate change is going to happen. So, you know, if that's the case, and we know now that they are negotiating and talking about the budget now, they're trying to push it through. And we now know because they told us that the rate change is part of this budget. They don't even hide it.
Well, like George and I did a news update yesterday on our YouTube channel, and the Article 140, it appears everything is pretty well settled. I mean, that's a monumental amount of land in Iraq that they have agreed. And once, you know, I don't know how long you've been in dinar, but used to hear, well, Article 140 has to pass. It has to pass. For years, I've heard that. Well, it looks like it's passing or passed. So
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we've had one snag after another. Once Al-Kadimi got in there, or Al-Kazimi, whatever, people got to call him different names, man. Al-Kadimi. Once he got in there, I was like, uh, I got friends. They're from Yemen and stuff, and I say, hey, what do you guys think of this guy? They're like, yeah, look, you don't get it, Pimpy. Look, all these leaders, they get in there and they sound good. The thing you got to do, wait, we'll see his true colors. Wait, we'll see how he is. And so as time goes on, every time I see him, they're like, yeah, we'll see. He looks good. He looks good. Now I'm like, what do you think? They're like, no, he's, you don't get it. We are from this area. So we're watching what he's doing. He's actually like the real deal. He has done so much in such a quick period of time. And I was like, great, this is what I'm looking for. So Article 140, again, in there is the agreement between fees and dues and taxes and revenues collected from ports, the land distribution in there. Plus, I think the biggest holdup, from my understanding recently, was everything else had already been agreed upon. But there's a big part of people, they call them the displaced, right? These are people that when ISIS came in or whatever, they took their homes, and these people ventured off somewhere and they're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So between Kurdistan and Iraq, the biggest holdup was, what are we going to do with the displaced people? They should be able to come home. And there was a big what to do about that, but it seems to me like that's been settled now. So that's on top of all the other things that are included in 140, which is the salaries, distribution of land, but the displacement of the people and how they're handled was one of the biggest snag ups that were happening. So it's done. They can't go forward with the 2021 budget. It's impossible without having an agreement. That's why the 2020 budget never passed. You know what I mean? They have to agree. But you see what happened once they got on there and they started handling the ports, right? Upgraded the system, remember that when Al-Kadimi got in, he said, I'm going to remove 1,000 senior people. And everybody's like, why is he doing that? As soon as he did that, all the corrupt people, right? In the ports, 1 month they set a record for the amount of dues and fees collected. 2 months later, another record amount of money generated from the taxes and the dues. And these are alternative forms of revenue outside of the oil. They need to do this. And so now it's starting to kick up. This is why they need to protect the borders. People sneak across. They do what they need to do. They go back across. You keep them and you go through the checkpoints. You got to pay your dues to come across. All these things help them to create revenue outside of the oil. And so we're starting to really see that. And that's a great thing. I love it. So Al-Kadimi, in my opinion, seems to be the real deal Holyfield. He continues to impress me, not to mention all the people that's been arrested since he's been in office. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Well, George can kind of, I mean, he was working over there. That's how he got started in the first place. So I like George, if you want to give him a quick kind of a condensed version of what led up to this.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and break it down. I was over there, for 13 years. And and I started my own banking account over there with Dinar. I started my own stock account over there. And when I came back, me and my wife had made the plans to go ahead and invite other people after we found out through my brokers that we could start and add friends and family. So biggest thing I was wanting to add friends and family. Well, one thing led to another, and I added a lot of friends, extended friends. Some I never even knew before today.
Yeah, buddy.
So saying that, I set a record at 7,500 blocks. I wanted to be at 300 members. And we reached that goal, I don't know, a few months back. And with that, I had many, just hundreds of people asking me, how can I get in? How can they get in? Well, I couldn't because I'd done a full breakdown on a contract with my members.
Yep.
And I didn't do back that trouble. Lee, you know about that. So with that, I get to talk Andy into starting his own group, which it makes him happy now. And and Andy's been with me a good while. He's been my admin for almost the whole time. And with that, when he started that, I turned around and started an Iraqi office, selling blocks on an Iraqi office in Iraq.
Yeah, wait, could you elaborate on that a little bit more? Tell people what you're talking about, because I was trying to explain this to somebody. What do you mean an Iraqi office?
Yeah, what we're going to do is both groups going to come together, and we're going to actually put an office in place in Baghdad that's going to handle all investments in Baghdad. Right now through our brokerage firm, we've already got over 5 investments that's already handed to us hands in. So we're done. We can have them 5. That's not counting anything comes before then. While we're sleeping, them people are working over there. So the office deal is to have people over there on the same time zone to be handling business while we sleep over here. So that way, if any other investments comes available, then we got first dibs in it as soon as it comes through the government or through the financial system.
Yeah, good, bad, or ugly. What's this? The meeting no longer has time. What is this? I got a message that
Yeah.
Is it stopping me? Okay, sorry about that.
They're extending our 40-minute limit.
Oh, dang, we've been see that's what happens. It goes real quick.
A few minutes before we started recording.
So George, here's what George is saying, you guys, just so in case you don't know. So good, bad, or ugly, anything that's happening on the ISX, we will actually have a team over there paying attention and handling it in real time, because their time difference is different than ours. I don't want to be sleeping and find out that we missed something, wake up and be ass out. I mean, we have a team over there already, is what George is trying to say.
Well, let me tell you something that they told George a few months ago.
He's ugly?
They presented him. Hey,
I'm messing with him.
Face for radio, buddy. But they told him, his brokers told him that they wanted him to consider investing in a project.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, you know, we can't do a whole lot with that. So
good Lord, wait a minute. Wait, I gotta ask it. Is that one of those knuckle busters? You know, them dialing. What kind of phone is that? No, you actually got a phone in your home?
No, it's
who the hell? Oh, okay.
I had the old ringtone.
Look, I'm gonna age us, but back in our days, folks, because some of you youngins don't know about this. So we had a phone connected to the wall. You have to pick it up and add a round dial, and you had to stick your damn finger in there and go click, 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 click. And sometimes if you went too quick and you try to do a number and your finger slipped out, it dialed the wrong number. You had to hang up and do it again. So you know what I mean? That's old schooler right there.
On the party line because several people shared your same phone line.
Yeah, it's not like, no, I thought he had an old school phone. I was like, okay, Andy, we got cell phones, all right, my brother.
No, but
sorry, I couldn't help.
George kind of hinted to him, you know, that'd be nice, but they told him then, we know what you're waiting on. And this is why we're going ahead and presenting this to you to get you prepared. So opening an office over there before the dinar changes is giving us a leg up because we're there, we're set up, and we're ready to go almost from day one. Here's the kicker. Since you're mentioning this and you've got a lot of viewers, it's not open to anybody. It's only available. The office part is only available to members of WISE, which is George's group, which is now closed, or you've got to be a member of Willard Enterprises to be able to invest in the office portion of it. So
that's right.
They've got to
look there.
Like the idea of the office and getting in.
Yep.
If they are invested in the office, any project over there that is invested in, they get first dibs. If they help with the office, $100 a block, they get first dibs on investing in the business over there.
Yep.
And each project will be run separately. So if we decide, okay, let's do a hotel, if we do it's hard to explain as quick as we want to do it, but a food court, it'd be 2 separate investments and they can invest in those. But if you've got several hundred people and then you've got a $10 million project, a $20 million project, and you get those with 50 people or 100, you didn't get to invest in time because, hey, we got the money we need. Anybody that helps with the office, 10% of any and all profits that come out of Iraq are distributed between the ones that support the office.
No, I mean, I want to make sure that I'm hearing you right, because one thing I did want to talk to you guys about is this. Look, I seen lists of different projects that are out there. Some of them that have caught my attention big time. So if we got an office out there and they give us an opportunity to jump in on this action, you know what I mean? And they say to us, hey, if you guys want this, what we're going to need from you, I'm just going to use round numbers. If you guys can somehow, because let's say the rate change happens, somehow you guys come together and you give me 100 million to do this project. We say we can do it. You just put it out to the group and you say, do we want this? First,
Nope.
blah blah blah, people to jump in on this, and they do with X amount of dollars. There you go, right there. You're in on that
It's
project.
gonna be the same concept that we're doing the blocks now. We're gonna
for each project.
We need $100 million. Blocks are going to be 100,000 a piece, or blocks are going to be 10,000. Each one will be different.
Yeah, because the prices are different. Yeah.
So
no, I like that idea, man. Big time.
And you're going to get a profit based on the number of blocks that'll be sold. But you'll know ahead of time, we need 100 million for this project. You'll know how many blocks there are, what your share of the profits are going to be.
Hey, look, I'll share something with you and you guys as a group, okay? That a lot of people don't know about. So I started talking about this to a lot of my subscribers, and that is this. So Iraq has, they have way more oil than they're letting on. There was a lot of it discovered in a certain part of Iraq that they had not officially announced. So before I can even bring it up, I had to ask for permission. So I'm sharing this. So just so you guys know, it's magically starting to come out now. So several months I told people, look, I know for a fact they have a lot more oil. It's going to be announced. It's going to happen. And so I was happy that the article came out, was it yesterday? They said, now Iraq's not only going to sell one type of oil, they're going to sell 3 types of oil. And I started laughing. I called my friend up where I get the information from. I said, he goes, they're not done. I said, they're not done. He goes, no, the oil field that they have not announced is huge. It's going to launch them into the #1 oil providers in the world. I goes, is that big? He goes, yeah. They already know it's there. They won't announce it because they need to secure the land. Because when ISIS or anybody else finds out about it, they try to go over there to the land and grab it real quick. So right now they've been securing it. And I said, how secure is it right now? He said, it's pretty secure. So they're expecting. So just so you guys understand, again, I had to ask for permission. I have blown smoke up people's butt. I don't do that. I don't usually talk about things that I can't prove. But I know this for a fact. They already started leaking out slowly. They're like, oh, we found some more oil over in the Moore field. Did you see that about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago? And I was like, I told my friend, he goes, yep, they're going to start announcing it. They're doing it in smaller increments. Once it comes out, even Saudi Arabia is already aware about this oil deposit that they have. It is going to be the largest in the world. So they have them. Now they're going to have the assets to support the currency. This is why BS is there kissing their butt. Because BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, like, come on, be a member. And what we'll do for you is we'll beef up your foreign reserve currencies. And what does that do? It makes the dinar stronger. You can get a better rate from them because they all want part of that action as well.
Right. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I've said since I've been in this, it's been 18 years, and I've been over there. And
you don't say. Good Lord, he's so happy he froze. Look, he's, just so you guys know, look at his information is so exciting, he froze. George, you don't know this. I don't know if you can hear us or not, but you're just frozen, my brother. You got to look at that face. Look at that mug, just so you know. There he is. Okay, go ahead. Repeat yourself.
Over, George.
This is what you look like. You're like.
Oh, yeah.
So you were there for a little bit. So you said you were in this for 18 years. After that, you were frozen.
Yeah, 18 years, and then with you know, and we all know, and I've heard it since I was over there too. Iraq wants to be ahead of Kuwait in currency rate. Okay.
Yeah, if I think about everything, here's the other thing that, and this is not a secret. They have the second largest deposit of gold in the world, and so they're second largest, and nobody's started mining it. And then from the reports that I read, the gold is actually shallow, so the amount of money needed to pull it up is very, very inexpensive. Yeah, so you know, I got a company that's trying to figure out how to get in there. I actually have an actual connection, but I don't know.
Tigris River.
Yeah, Tigris River. Yes, the second largest gold deposit is sitting there. You can literally go to Iraq if you want to risk your own ass. Get out there with the damn backpack dredge and go to town, man. You could right now.
Yeah. It's strong, people. It's going to happen. So people really need to be ready for it. So
they'll be #1 in oil, 2 in gold is what it looks like, And, and that's why these people like the IMF, although I don't want the IMF nor the World Bank involved with them, but it looks like it's not going to matter. The BIS will be involved with them. You know, you have the BIS, they all know what's going on. They see what's going on.
Yeah.
They know what's there. And so that's why they're, hey, let me help you. Do you think they're being friendly? You think they're nice? No. They have expectations. And Iraq is going to be the gateway into all of the Middle East. We know that Saudi Arabia, Trump told Saudi Arabia to work with Iraq to rebuild that port that was destroyed. Because although people are like, well, Iraq's all the way in the back. And they go, no, no, no. Once you get in there and you unload your goods, they, from around them, they're surrounded by all the countries that people are trying to get to. That's why they're called the gateway to the Middle East.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly right.
Monies, people.
Exactly.
Monies.
Big money. Big money.
Yeah. And so if you got the, and here's the funny thing, there's not a lot of stock on the ISX. There's not a lot of companies. So that gives us an opportunity to really bulk up on all of them. I mean, seriously, one of them, you guys count me, correct me if I'm wrong. One of them is actually Coca-Cola, but they're not called Coca-Cola.
No,
they're called something else.
Pepsi.
Yeah, they're
Baghdad Beverage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baghdad Beverage. Yeah.
What's that other one? Remember we were talking about, I think it was a cell phone company, and I was like, no, we got to jump all over that one because in Kuwait, it is big.
Asia Cell. Yeah, Asia Cell.
George just got over 30,000 US dollars in dividends from Asia Cell.
Okay.
So you can imagine what the dividends will be on a new rate.
Whew. Man, good Lord. Good Lord. That's what I'm talking about. Remember we were talking about this? I was like, whatever that one is, we need to jump on it because I did the research on it. And I was like, oh, good Lord. Man, they are big for another country, and they are small right now in Iraq. So you can only imagine.
Millions and millions, people. Millions and millions. I mean, you be where you get where you want to fit in. That's what I got to tell everybody.
So let's go over and explain to people how this works. So let's say the dividends. Some of them pay quarterly, some of them semi-annually, some of them annually. So let's just pretend that all of them are annually, just for the sake of simplicity.
They are all.
And all of a sudden, we got dividends of about $50 million. How does this work?
George, you want to take it or?
He's frozen again.
He's frozen.
He worked at a Disney.
What they'll do, like they just recently in October, I think, September, October, they paid him the dividends. He reinvested those dividends because there's not a change in value. So he's got 300 members. 30,000 is not that big a deal.
Yep.
They reinvested, so their dividends next year will be even better. But they typically their year is over March 31st. Sometime in April, they will announce a general assembly, is what they call it, the stockholders meeting, the annual stockholder. And then May.
So once the dividends are paid out, once we get into a flow of things, you guys take, after all the fees and everything are out, you take what's left over and you break it up by the number of blocks you guys have. And then depending on how many blocks you own, and then multiply that times whatever each block will earn. That's how you get paid.
Let's say Asia Cell paid 30,000. What do you remember the dinar value, George? I want to say,
is that 30,000 American dollars or 30,000 dinar
American? So say
okay, good.
300 million. Was it 30 million? I think 30 million dinar. So as an example, with George's group, 30 million dinar. If it was 2 to 1, 3 to 1, everybody can play with the numbers themselves. Let's say 2 to 1 at $60 million. He would have taken 4%, put back in, and bought more stocks because 4% comes off the top. What's left, he draws out. He took a percentage off the top. Then he divides whatever's left, 50.
Hey, let me give it a shot at it, Andy. Let me see so I can just explain to people.
500 blocks.
Let me see if I can do it this way. So for those of you guys, let's simplify it. Let's say that Andy's group, he sold out. He's maxed out at 10 blocks. All of a sudden, after the dividends are paid in, after all the expenses are paid, we find out we got $10 million in dividends. Since there's 10 blocks, each block gets a million because there's 10 million and 10 blocks. So if you own 2 blocks, you get 2 million. Do you see how that works? If you own 1 block, you get 1 million. So the profits are divided by the number of blocks after expenses. So depending on how many blocks you have, so each block, you know, it's divided into each block. So then it's that times how many blocks you have. So like I said, out of the 10 blocks, let's say I have 3 of them. Okay, well then I get $3 million. That's how that works. That's what yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let me add
3 blocks up to over 400 blocks. So it everywhere in between.
Let me add this also with the blocks and the stock and everything else in my group. My group alone, and just in World International Stock Exchange, owns over $500 million in shares.
Yep, I remember that. I seen that.
That's huge. That's huge, people. So
well, George, just tell them if once they're a member, like on your website, you can actually go on and see the stocks and how many stocks on the website. So it's not, they're total transparency. You just go to George's, for those of you in George's group, you can go on there and see that. Now, Andy, I must confess, I've not been on your website, so I'm guessing it's the same way, right? You can see what you're.
I give too much information. I post every time I buy shares. I post the new stock totals and cut out a portion of my actual stock account page and paste it online. So there
you guys got so this way you can see as a group how much stock and what the stock is invested in over there in Iraq on each of the websites. Now, most of you are new. So George, his group is sold out. It was a set amount. There's no more could be added. Andy's, on the other hand, you know, again, you can go to Andy's group. Now the blocks will change as people buy more. So real quick, tell them, what does it cost Andy to get in? What's the initial, and then what is the ongoing cost?
The blocks are $110 each with a 3-block minimum.
So when you first buy in, you got to have a 3-block minimum.
Right. So $330.
$330. But after that, if you're already a member, you could buy 1 block at a time, $110, right?
100. I mean, there's no limit, and there's not going to be a limit until, and I still get this question almost daily, if we have blocks available or if we're still allowing new members. We will do both until there is a rate change. I don't care.
And it's coming. It's coming.
Blocks and $10 million over there. We're going to continue to grow. And George started his group because he wanted to help friends and family. So when they kept bugging him, we said, well, then if we're going to do this, and if I'm going to open it, we don't want to shut anybody out that wants to be a part of it. We're going to leave it wide open until there's a rate change. So
the more the merrier.
Where we're at. Yeah, I mean, the more people, and that's what I tell George and tell the other people, you know, get your brother and your sister involved, get your mom, your dad, your cousin, your aunts, because the more people, if you're going to be a member, the more people that you know that you get to become members, the less you have to help out when this happens.
So now that you guys have
my brothers and sisters, I've got cousins, and I've got so many people invested in this. It's unreal.
So the good thing is this, you guys, for those of you who don't know this. So like I said, once the rate change happens and you own the dinar, you get that one-time payment. If you're invested in these groups, just like if you own stock here in America, we would own as a group. Yeah. Yep. You could just keep getting the money as the dividends are paid out, as it continues to grow, the money is paid out. Now, you do have options to sell your shares back. That's one of the things they have. But just keep in mind, once those are sold and you sold your blocks, guess what? You don't get the dividends the rest of your life. It's better for you just to leave them in there, let that money roll, and just get that ongoing paycheck every year, whether it's quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. You know what I mean?
Well, let me add too now. Let me add also with this. We're gonna with these groups. Only if you're part of these groups at tools and entertainment, it's going to be handling all future investment stuff, which is the Iraqi office and any other investments that we have here in the States, and also we're going to be looking get into Asia vacation spots like beach resorts and stuff such as that. So you'll become you'll be able to invest into that once you get your dividend payments. You know, so you can roll that money right back into future investments, and then you're going to have 2 different areas or 3 different areas of money coming in along with your so you're talking about huge money. I've seen
It's
numbers.
like being a hedge fund. You know what I mean? It's like being a hedge fund. These guys have their money invested over in Iraq. Boy, I tell you what, my subscribers we've been looking for people to invest in Vietnam. I'm telling you, man, we've been.
Yes, sir, buddy. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming, and then
This is my vicious guard dog. This is Lizzie Booba. She's old though. She's old, but she's trying to fight my pit bull. I'm like, you look like a Happy Meal to my pit bull, but she does. She been trying to whip that pit bull's ass. I'm like, man, it makes me nervous because before I had a pit bull and a dog just like this, and the pit bull, finally got tired and killed the other dog. Unfortunately, it's sad, but but she's old. She's like half blind. She don't know where she's at. She's beautiful. She's being nosy. Look, we need to figure out I need to find a company that'll allow subscribers to go invest in Vietnam. I know it's a side conversation from where we are right now, but the Iraq the Dong.
There are companies in the U.S. From my research, you don't want to set up an account with anybody in Vietnam because they're all very crooked. But there are companies in the U.S. and other countries that invest in their markets. So I need to find out who that is and who we could reach out to, because I tell you what, as much as I've been reporting on the Vietnam Dong, I already know the companies I want to be in right off the top of my damn head. Ven Group, Ven Homes, and all of them are some of the biggest. I mean, Vina Milk. I mean, these, you guys not to get sidetracked from Iraqi dinar, but I mean, you see, I watched over this past year on Ven Homes and Ven Group split stocks twice in 1 year. I was like, what the hell? Had you been on there, you would have, man. And I anticipate them continuing to grow. So
I have a contact in California that actually deals. He works for a brokerage firm in Vietnam. So
please give me that info. I'd like to talk
members to up to be. If I could get up enough members to actually go in and invest with this guy, because he's talking $100,000 minimum that he'll play with. So
no, I mean, as a group, that's easy. I mean, I told you, I got actually, when I went into the gold and silver part as well, I mean, I had people that had millions of dollars reach out to my gold and silver people, who are like, we want to buy $1 million worth. They're like, whoa, holy crap. And I'm like, I told you. Look, believe it or not, there's a lot of people, they got a lot of money. So,
and that's what I say, if I could get enough members to where we could, raise 100,000 or better quickly, this guy would actually set us up in Vietnam through his firm. But that was a minimum he gave me.
Then let's so with that, off this phone call, George, we'll talk, because I think we can do that. Not only can we do it, I think we can do it easily. All right. So we'll probably need to talk about what we need to do. I think Vietnam and Iraq both right now is ground level. I know we're talking about Iraq right now. But it's not just the currency. If there's an ability for individuals to really get in at a ground level and have ongoing payments like the ISX, I mean, not that one time, the rate change. That's great. I hope, pray to God that everybody benefits from it. But here's the thing about the ISX and it being into your guys' groups. This ongoing. As long as you're in there, it's ongoing. Okay? And it's important. I think that's a great thing to be involved in.
I mean, just in Iraq's groups, we got several members that's going to be billionaires in this group, in these two groups. Okay, with that said,
good Lord, George.
He just gets so excited he just can't let it out.
Hey, just so you know, George still works on a 486 computer.
He's up in the very highest elevation in the city with the highest elevation in this country.
You would think he would get the best reception since he's so high.
Exactly.
We'll put some more aluminum foil on that antenna, guys dang it. I'm really aging myself again.
I actually do have an antenna outside on the house, believe it or not, and it comes and goes, man. So it ain't.
Hey, you want to hear something funny, George? So I was talking to my kids, I go, you want to see something funny? So I showed them, I went to Google and I researched it, and I pulled up a picture, an image of all the houses with the antennas. And they go, look at this. They go, what is that? They go, what is that? I said, back in the older days, you had to have an antenna. They go, what is that for? That's how far removed from it. I said,
Those
so
were the 3 channels we used to get.
3 channels, and you had to have aluminum foil with a hanger with the wrapper, and you had that one kid. One kid would move around. We didn't have remote control. We had pliers, and we turned the channel.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd get a hanger and stick in there.
Yeah.
Move the hanger around.
How many of us had the pliers? You had to turn the channel. And the TVs weighed like 700 pounds, the Marciers, man. They were huge, man. They were ugly. Good Lord, they aged themselves. But yeah, I showed my kids. They were like, what the hell is that? I go, yep, every house had an antenna, man. And pray to God that the wind would come and knock those bad boys down. TV was terrible, man. Terrible. All right, gentlemen, let me see. We'll wrap things up. But again, for my subscribers, if you're interested, so George is blocked off. He's done. There's nothing more he can do. But we're going to let Andy tell you guys where they can reach, and I'll make sure to have a link down in the description. So, Andy, why don't you just blurt out to them where they can reach you and get aboard if they want to.
All right. It's just come to the website. It's Woolard, ENT.com, WOOLARDENT.com. There's a FAQ page. There's you can go and look at the blog, and all that is I post as we grow. Any announcements I need to make are posted there. But if you're ready, you go to the investor agreement page, follow the instructions there. We take Zelle, deluxe e-check, cashier's check, Zelle, and
Apple Pay.
So
yeah, there's different ways in which you can buy into this group. You guys still doing the phone calls anymore? Or are you just doing the videos?
we do primarily the videos.
Just the
We're
video.
trying to push to get 1,000 or whatever it is, 1,000 subscribers, I guess, where we can start doing the live shows, so that we can.
Where the hell are you guys at? This will get you there pretty soon. We'll get you there.
Yeah.
So, I got 68,000 subscribers, man. You know what I mean? So, what happened?
All we need is.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say I'm in the UK. Can I jump in on your group?
No, only U.S. and Canada.
No.
You're hurting my feelings, man. You're hurting my feelings. I got a lot of Australian and New Zealand and UK people. So it's a good thing I asked that question. So for those of you who are in Canada, for those of you who are here in the United States, what about Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico is part of the U.S.
There you go. So Puerto Ricans,
Yep.
jump aboard. All right.
Now, Costa Rica is a different matter, but Puerto Rico is just fine with me. I think
All right, gentlemen.
Puerto Rico, somebody that lives in Puerto Rico is a member. I mean, it's just too difficult. I don't know why I didn't want Australian and anybody outside UK and all that. I'm just not sure. I really don't know why we set that rule up.
Well, maybe you'll look into it, and if that changes, you let me know, and I'll let my my brotherins and sisterins from UK, New Zealand, everything else know about it.
Okay, but they would have to send U.S. certified funds, and by the time it got here, I don't know if there's even time. But
well, I mean, you have, like you said, you got those apps. Those apps convert right away. I know. I just bought a domain name today, and it flipped real quick. I was like, nice. That's how it should be.
There was something, a legal reason, and I don't even recall what it was.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't, you can't. But if they can, it'd be nice to offer them a chance if they were interested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd love everybody, the more the merrier. I truly believe that God is at work in this, and there's going to be so much good. Just an incredible amount of good is going to come from this. A lot of philanthropy, just a massive wave, just like the red wave that was stolen is going to just come through this country. And we're going to, and that's all the politics. That's all.
Yeah, you're going to get me going, man. It's not good, but all right.
Don't go there.
All right, gentlemen. Look at here's the other one. This is McLovin. See him? Yeah. I say hi, McLovin.
Yeah,
he's so tiny.
There's going to be an incredible amount of good come from this when it happens.
Say hi. Look over here. Look.
The more the merrier.
Yep.
The more the merrier. All right, you guys. So if you're interested, again, I'll leave a link so you can reach out to these gentlemen. You know, Andy, I'll make sure to leave a link so you can join Andy's group and you know, jump on in there. Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to contact them. I'm sure a phone number's on there. If you have questions, then you know, reach out to them. You know, don't be afraid to ask. Like I tell people, when it comes to any type of investment, if you got some discretionary funds and you're not stretching yourself out too thin, something you should consider. All right.
Don't borrow to invest.
No.
Never borrow to invest.
No.
But I want to say,
Look at my nose picker. You see that?
Lee, I want to make sure everybody knows, because you've got a lot of people and a whole variety of personalities and everything else. They're going to attack you. So what are you getting paid? You're not getting paid to talk about us. I just want to.
No, I don't. Look, here's the thing. I don't get anything. So like when they contact me, they ask me questions.
Oh, you went out.
He's gonna be back.
Phone stopped.
Sorry about that. Hold on. Somebody called in on a phone call, and there you go. So somebody's calling in on a phone call, and I think I hit green by accident. So here's the deal. I don't control the groups. When I heard about them, I invested in the groups and I liked it. And then when other people knew that I invested, they were like, "Oh, where did you go?" I'm like, you know, here's the contact info. Just go reach out to them. I can't answer your questions. So I don't get anything from these guys. I just like what they're doing. So it's up to you. If you got questions, make sure you reach out to them specifically, because the truth is, I don't know. It's not my group, but I know a lot of you have asked me a million questions about these guys, and you're interested in doing so. So this is why we're doing a video, so that you can see who they are, and then I'll allow you guys. I'll put the link down below, and you are able to go in there. Now, look, you're going to get trolls. I don't care in anything that you're going to get them. You got people who just. They're so bored and they got to stick up their ass. I'm sorry, they're bored. They want to talk crap about anybody. So that's with anything. And it's not just this. And any of my subject matters I talk about, you get them.
Yeah.
All right. You just deal with them. So again, look, reach out to these guys. Let them answer questions until you feel satisfied or you're not interested. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Key into our George and Andy show on YouTube. I mean, that's a good way to follow a lot of our.
Yeah, but I'll leave a link down below as well.
If they come to WillardENT.com and they scroll down the page, it always shows our latest video, and also in the blog you'll be able to go in and see. You can subscribe from there. But yeah, the trolls, I've probably had 200 applications. People go in and fill them out and say some weird stuff, and you just move on. But if you
here's the thing. Look. This is the thing, you guys. If you don't have any trolls, your feelings should be hurt. Seriously, it's only when you're doing something good that the trolls come out. Because if you're terrible, they don't need to do no work. It's already stuck. You know what I mean?
If you're sending payment by electronic means, I'm going to hold your agreement up to 5 days. So you shouldn't fill it out until you're ready to pay, until you're ready to invest. But I know
on the website, they walk you guys through. So just go to the website. Again, I'll leave the links. And they'll walk you through what you need to do. It's very user-friendly.
And any questions? I mean, I'm a sole proprietor, and there's an employee of one. So I already have a full-time job. If I didn't, I'd have to charge $125 a block. But so if you have email, if you need to email me, you're more than welcome to. Just don't expect an immediate response.
My email, even all members, even Andy's members, my email and my cell phone number is ready available for any member in both groups. If I can help anybody any kind of way, I'll be more than happy to help them.
See, that's the great thing about both of them. You're going to get their phone number. You can talk to them directly. There is no, please select the field in which you want to go to. No, you get to talk to them directly. Okay? Like my dog, it's food time. They're bugging me to eat. All right, gentlemen, look, I appreciate everything, man. It's been great as usual. But it's funny when people are like, you know, Andy and you know, George. I'm like, yeah, I know them guys actually. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I to talk to you guys, man.
Since the first time you was on Brando's show, I thought, I like this guy.
Good Lord, back in 1952.
Yeah, back in the antenna days.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, antenna. And when cable TV had 2 channels, Showtime and On TV. That was it. All right, guys.
All right, thanks, Lee.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys later.
George, talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.